Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Cracking the Cryptic, or should I say the J. Dyer edition of Cracking the Cryptic, because today I'm going to be giving one of Jay's latest puzzles a go. This is called Double Filtration, and I've just read the rules and they are absolutely terrifying. And the reason I'm having a go at this is an unusual one, actually. We've had several requests from people who have not been able to solve it. I mean, we haven't had it recommended because no one's been able to do it. On Logic Masters Germany, it's been solved a few times, and the comments that I saw there were fulsome in their praise. But that's just standard for a J. Dyer puzzle. But yeah, this one is in reply for cries of help, and I hope I'll be able to provide the help, but I'm not sure. It's another of these doublers puzzles. Now, why is it also the J. Dyer edition? Well, today is going to be the last day that I read out the names of successful solvers of J. Dyer's hunt in which was last month's Patreon reward. I have to say, Jay, that the feedback we've had from our patrons about that hunt has been without parallel. Just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people eulogizing about the quality of the Sudokus in that hunt. So if you are a patron, you haven't tried it, obviously the competition's over now, but do have a go, because I think that you will just be astonished, frankly. Now, what else have I got to tell you about today? We're streaming later. We're going to be streaming Teiji, which is the puzzle game. Now, apparently, if Mark and I perform, if we're up to par, then we should be able to finish it in tonight's stream. So we'd love to have your company, 10 o'clock UK time, if you're around. Now, I've got some birthdays to do as well. So let's start with Dario and the cat, Edgar Allan Poe. It is both of your birthdays today, I believe, although you're different ages. Dario is the maximum size of a 4-cell killer cage, and Edgar Allan Poe is a number you can't put on a German whisper line. And your fiancée, Dario, your fiancée, Bailey, wrote to us and said that you'd appreciate a shout out. So I hope you have a brilliant birthday. I hope both of you have a brilliant birthday today, although how much Edgar Allan Poe will know about it being its birthday, I'm not sure. And then Kat, I've been challenged by your boyfriend Charlie to pronounce your name. I'm going to go for Ketia. Is that right? I hope I've got that right. But Kat, you're originally from Latvia, now in the UK, and I'm told by Charlie that I'm not sure how old you are today, but I am told that there is chocolate birthday cake incoming. So you're going to have a good one, Kat, and I hope you're able to have a good celebration together. And then Michael. Now, Michael, I don't know much beyond the fact it's your birthday, and you've been with us for a couple of years. So, Michael, I hope you're able to have a brilliant day too, with the requisite amount of cake. And now those J. Dyer names. So, very well done to Palaf Goyal, Shui Wu, Jimothy Voss, Scott Joss, not Scott Voss, Scott Joss, two very similar surnames there, Rob Bretveld, Anne-Marie de Haan and Esmeralda Klein-Riesink, Michael Lieberman, Dr. B's and D's Puzzle Consortium, Paul Biankowski, Leonard Sorensen, Cassandra Coville, Eric Yoda, Daniel Abrams, Ben Hawker and Ty Doe. All of you sent in the correct entries. Very, very well done indeed. And now I will read you the rules of this J. Dyer puzzle, and we will weep together quietly. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 9 cells, 1 in each row, column, and 3x3 box, are doublers, and have a value equal to double their digit. Each digit appears in exactly one doubler. So we've got to sprinkle the grid with the digits 1 to 9, and wherever those digits appear as doublers, they have double their value, obviously, but they have double their value in these pills here in a very strange way. But the values of cells in a cage sum to the clue in the top left corner, and digits may not repeat in a cage, though values may repeat. So what on earth is that telling us? That's telling us if that was a No, that's not going to work. If that was a doubled 4, it would count as 8, and then I could still have another 8 in the cage. So that would give us 16, and then I could have a 1 and a 3, I think, is what that's saying, to make 20 overall. If there was no doubler in this cage, obviously it's just normal rules applying, so this would have to be a 9-7 pair if this was a 1-3 pair to give us the requisite total. Now, here is the complicated bit. In row n, for all n from 1 to 9, the values of cells in the pill, read from left to right, give the row and column number of the doubler with the digit n. This is like something designed to torture me. So what is that saying? That is saying that there's a 6 somewhere in the grid that's doubled. Let's imagine the 6 was there. It's doubled. That's saying that this pill, I think, because this is in the 6th row. Let me just check. Yes, it's in the 6th row. So this pill is telling us where the double 6 lives in terms of the row and the column number. So this would be a 2, and this would be an 8. But I suspect that some of the complication here is going to arise from the fact that, well, could that be a doubled 4? Or indeed, could that be a doubled 1? So if that was a 1 and that was a natural 8, I think that's still correct. I think. That's how I read the rules anyway, because this would count as 2, so it would be saying row 2. That would count as 8, which would be saying column 8. And this pill indexes where the doubled 6 is. This is absolutely mad. Completely and utterly bonkers. Do have a go at it. Double Filtration by J. Dyer. The way to play is to click the link under the video. And now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Normally I'd start exactly there with a 2-cell 17 cage, but I'm guessing that we could have a doubler in there, and that's going to make that not straightforward. So, what on earth do we know about the pills? We know that each column, the problem here is that these are values, not actual numbers, in the sense that I was going to say that, let's just highlight those digits for a moment. Those blue cells there have to be, they don't have to be the numbers 1 to 9 actually. In fact, they can't be the numbers 1 to 9, but they have to have the values 1 to 9. This is weird, right? What do I mean by they have to have the values 1 to 9? Well, each column of the Sudoku has a doubler in it. We're told that by the rules. So each of these indexes, there must be one of each number in these cells to index these columns. Now the problem with this, of course, is that the values of these numbers can be adjusted by doublers. And in fact, we can say for certain that there is some sort of doubling effect. Well, actually, there's definitely a doubler in column 3 anyway. But what I was thinking was, if these were, and they can't be this, but I'll just deal with it anyway. If blue was a set of the digits 1 to 9, then the puzzle would be broken, because those two digits would have to be the same number. Because in this column, if we highlight that whole column, obviously that is a set of the digits 1 to 9, because it's one Sudoku column which has the digits 1 to 9 in it by the rules of Sudoku. So if I somehow argue that blue is also a set of the digits 1 to 9, then these digits appear both in blue and purple. So these digits are the same as each other, and those digits must be the same as each other, but they're in the same row of the grid, so that doesn't work. That's actually impossible. So we know that at least one of these blue cells is doubled. Does that mean that's not doubled? Because it will always, because one of these has to be doubled and this cell sees all of the blue cells. I haven't got a clue, to be honest. This is very complicated. If that was doubled, I suppose if it is doubled, no, that's wrong. I was about to say something that was totally and utterly wrong. All right, let's just try and let's make this a doubler. Let's put a digit in it so we can think about it. If that's a doubled 3, what is that actually saying so far as yeah, okay, so I was right. This is impossible. Because one of the blue cells must be a doubler, and this cell sees all of the blue cells, it obviously we can't have two doublers in the same unit, Sudoku units. We can't have two doublers in a column or two doublers in a row. So we can't make this a doubler, and you can see it can't be a doubler if we think about it from a numbers perspective. I find this in a little bit easier, actually. Because I know one of these sort of column indicators, one of the blue squares has to indicate column 3 because there is a doubler in column 3. But which one? Which one of these blue cells can I give the value of 3 to? And the answer is none. I can't put 3 up here. I can't put 3 here, and I can't put 3 here. Now, okay, 1, yeah, okay, and let's actually just change that to 4 for a moment, because I've suddenly thought, well, you could say I could have a double 2 to give me the natural value of 4, but obviously if I do have a double 2, it would have to be a doubler, and it would see this cell being doubled, so you can't repeat a doubler. So yeah, this is a very long-winded way of saying that that is not a doubler. One of the blue squares is a doubler. And that digit is not a doubler, so that digit's a plain digit. Let's just make that a 5 for a moment. Or maybe I shouldn't make it a 5 because it's in row 5 and that does something, doesn't it? Row 5 is telling us where the 5... Actually, I'm going to make that a 6. If that's a 6... if that's a 6, what is it saying? Well, now I've got a problem. I have got a problem with 6 in the column numbers, because one of... There must be a doubler in column 6. But I can't put 6 into any of the blue squares, so I have to put double 3 in. So does that mean that's even always? I have a feeling it does. If that's a 7, I can't put 7 into any blue column indicators. And the only way of creating a different value in blue, other than using the natural value of 7, which obviously can't go into blue by Sudoku, would be to use a doubler, which would have to be a 3.5 being doubled to 7. So, here is a tiny deduction. That square, I believe, is even. And whatever it is, half its value appears as a doubler. Oh, wow, this is complicated now. Hang on. Half its value. I'm just going to make this 6 again. So if this is 6, I've got to put a doubled 3 somewhere in blue. So I'm now wondering whether that doubled 3 has to go there. If I put... Oh, now I think the puzzle's broken. I think I've not understood this. If I put double 3 there, that's fine. I've now got an indexed 6 in the column numbers, but I haven't got an indexed 3 because I've converted my 3 into a doubler. Oh, I see. So does that now have to be the 3? Oh. Is that telling me this isn't doubled as well? I think it is. I think it's the same logic actually. I think it's for that reason it can't be a doubler, because we need the natural value of the doubler that we know. Yeah, so we know that there is a doubler definitely in column 3. We know it's not this square. And whatever is the doubler in column 3, which actually has to be a small number now I think about it, has got to be a 1, 2, 3 or a 4, doesn't it? Because if it was a 5 being doubled, it would be indexing into column 10, and there isn't such a thing as a column 10. So there is a 1, 2, 3 or 4. Let's just make it that square. Oh no, let's keep the 3 and the 6 actually together, otherwise this is going to get so complicated. Let's just keep working with 3 and 6 as our sort of tentative digits, because 3 is a valid one, because it's less than 5. So we've got a doubled 3 in this column, but it could be a doubled 1, doubled 2 or doubled 4. And its natural value, i.e. the value that it is before it's doubled, still needs to appear as a column number. So where do you put the 3, the real 3, the 3 that's indexing this column in blue? And the answer is only there, I think. So actually, okay, so this is really interesting. So now, assuming this is all correct, we can say that somewhere in this column is a doubler. Whatever the digit that's doubled is, the value of the doubled value goes into row 5, column 3. The natural value goes into row 5, column 2. So this digit is a 1, 2, 3 or 4. That is definitely true. And that's independent of where the doubler is in this column. And this digit I think is interesting because I saw another reason why this couldn't be a doubler. It can't be a doubler for the reasons we've just explained, which all relates to the logic on the columns. But if this was a doubler, let's just delete it being a 3 for a moment and make it a doubler. I think we get exactly the same problem with the rows that we sort of identified with the columns, which is that that set of digits there, let's make it purple, these purple digits have to have values of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Note I said values, not digits. And they can't have digits of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because if they did, these two digits would be the same using that sort of set theory proof that we did on that side with the columns. Or where was it? It was those, wasn't it? So we know that this is a set of values that are the digits 1 to 9. It therefore includes a doubler. And if it includes a doubler, because it can't be the digits 1, 2 and 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 naturally, that can't be a doubler because it would prevent a doubler existing in purple, which is another reason why this cell is most certainly not red. So, but now we've got a problem with 3, I think. This is why it's called double filtration, I think, because we've sort of filtered. We filtered through this sieve into this cell, and now we've got to repeat that logic in column 2, row 5, column 1. Now, how do we do that? And the reason I think we've got to think about this is that this digit, whatever it is, I managed to I've broken the puzzle. I think. I've not broken it in a terrible way. But I don't think 3 works, because how do I get and there must be a cell that has the value of 3 in purple. Well, where's that? It's impossible. You can do it with you could do it if it was an even number with a doubler, but you can't do it with a 3 because I can't double 1.5. So I'm now going to start changing things, because I think that has to therefore be even to allow a purple digit to be doubled to this value, which means that this cell, oh well, the problem is it's not necessarily this cell, it's a cell somewhere in this column which is doubled, has to not be odd. So this digit is 2 or 4, because we know it can't be 5 because it's doubled. Now I've managed to put 5 in. 2 or 4. So it's 2 or 4. That digit is double this one. So that digit is 4 or 8 now. So it's not 6. And it's not 2. And this digit is the same as that one. So this digit is now not 3. This is 2 or 4. Now, what does this mean? So let's imagine this was a 2 for a moment. Well, if it's 2, in fact, let's do it. Let's go 2, 2, 4. So if we're in this paradigm of the world, we have to put double 1 now somewhere, don't we? In purple. Because we need to have a natural, we need to have something that indexes to, oh, what is it? No, it's row 2 now. This is mad. This is absolutely mad. So in this instance, the challenge is to find a pill that tells us where the doubler is in row 2. And at the moment, you can see it's very hard to put a 2 into any of those row numbers. So we're going to have to do it by Sudoku with a doubled 1. Now, where does that double 1 go? Here or in the column, or is there no difference? I don't know is the answer. If you put it there, my feeling is that you then have a problem with the actual doubler in this column. Is that right? If that is double 1, so I address the problem I've got with this, with needing to put a 2 in purple by putting double 1 here. There's got to be a doubler somewhere in column 2. Let's put it there. If that's a doubler, let's make it a 3 again. Okay, so this is a double 3. This doesn't work at all, does it? In fact, now I'm wondering if I've broken this altogether. Oh no, because I can switch the double 1 out here. That's it. That's it. I've got it. Right. Okay. So the key is this is not a doubler. That's the key, and that's because if it was a doubler, actually, I'm now changing my mind again. I've got to. This is so difficult to articulate. I'm very sorry if I'm doing a poor job of this. If I don't know whether that's a doubler or not, but what I do know is it's not the doubler that deals with the 2 problem, because the doubler that deals with the 2 problem, if it was this cell, you get a different problem related to the actual doubler in this column. In this case, I've made it double 3, and the problem I see with double 3 is that now I've got to put a real 3, i.e. a natural value of 3, somewhere into purple. And there's nowhere to do that. Because I can't, I mean, even if this was even, let's make it 4 just for a moment. Let's make that 4. And say it's doubled. So this is referencing something in row 8. But I need something to reference the doubler that's going to appear eventually in row 4. So something here has to give me a row 4 doubler, if you like. But that means I need a double 2, doesn't it? I need to use double 2, but I've used all my doublers. All my doublers have been hypothecated already. to deal with the sequential problems we've had from the double filtration, and dealing with this one, and sort of then dealing with this one. So I think what we've got to do here is not put the doubler that deals with this digit in here. Now my only concern now, so let's make this double 1. Now if that's double 1, now the problem is the 1. In other words, we've now managed to put a 2 in purple, or something with a value of 2, which is the doubled 1. But we haven't put anything with the 1 in it, so that's a 1 now. That's what happens there. So that's a 1. And in fact, on that hypothesis, that digit is definitely not doubled, because were it to be a doubler, it would have to be a half in order to get to the 1 that we need to put in purple. This is absolutely brutal. This is absolute. So we've got to go through a double sieving of the digits in order to create a thingy thing. Now, the thingy thing we've now created is interesting, but unfortunately let me think about this for a moment, because I think this is wrong. So this option, or something that looks like this option, an option that starts with a double 2 in this column. So the option that starts with double 2 inevitably leads to a 1 in this square. But if that's right, isn't this pill telling me that in row 1, column 2, in that square, I have a doubled 5? Well, that cannot be a doubled 5, because I need a doubled 1, and I need a doubled 1 in column 2 to deal with the fact that I can't put a 2 anywhere in purple. So this is wrong. This is wrong. So that, I think, means that we're not in this world. We're not in this world. We're in a world where that is a 4, this is an 8, this is a 4, this is a 2. Now obviously here we've got to be super careful, because this is total conjecture about where the doubler is in column 3. All I know is it's not there, but I know it is a doubled 4. It's somewhere in those 8 cells. Although actually not in those 2 now, I see, because that would be wrong by Sudoku. Now, and also the double 2 could be anywhere. I mean, that could actually be anywhere, I think. But this digit is now... no, well, I was going... no, it's not... well, it is... in column 2, in the purple, we have not got a natural 2 anymore. We've got an adulterated 2 here. So we've got to put a natural 2 in. But unfortunately, that means that could be, maybe, a doubled 1. Let me just look at that for a moment. If that's a doubled 1, do I have the problem with 1 now in purple? No, I don't. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, no. It still doesn't work. Or it's not sorted out. By the end of this video, my hair is going to be up there. Yeah, I was wondering whether there was going to be a problem now with 1 in purple, because I haven't got a 1 in purple anymore, but this one obviously doesn't see enough of purple to limit 1 very much. Oh, I tell you what might limit... oh no, I was going to say what might limit it is what this is pointing at. But actually, that's a good point. Okay. So whether... oh no, hang on. Whether this is a doubled 1 or a natural 2... hang on, I want to get rid of the digit there. I know that's a 1 or a 2. But I know that if it's doubled, it's a doubled 1. Because it's dealing with the 2 in purple. And if it's natural, it's a real 2. So the actual value of that pill is 2 2 comma 4. So the 5 is in row 2 column 4 and it's in the 17 cage and it's doubled. So we have our first double. So now we know the 4 doesn't go here in column 3 and the 2 doesn't go here in column 2. And this counts for 10, so that is a 7. That's 2 digits I've got from absolutely nowhere. And that because obviously this is an even number, so that's got to be a 7. It can't be a doubler. But also it couldn't be a doubler because we've already got the doubler now in column 4. Now, what we might want to do now is introduce more colouring, because we have to keep track, don't we, of Mavericks flying past. We have to keep track of where we've got doublers, because we know if we find a doubler, now we found a 5, there can't be any doublers in these green cells anymore. It doesn't actually look very helpful, but that's true, because if there was a doubler in that cell, for example, we'd have 2 doublers in row 2, and most certainly we cannot do that. It would be a travesty. So this is just classic J. Dyer. You just know you're in the presence of somebody you hope is working for NASA or curing horrible diseases or something, because she is a complete and utter genius. Right. Now what do I know now? Well, what digits do I actually know? I've got to be really careful here, you know, because this 4 and 2 are total and utter. They're not nonsense, but I know there is a 4 somewhere in one of 6 cells in row 3. No, column 3. In column 3. So, and I know it's doubled. So that... Oh, that actually is useful. Because that's what that digit is telling me, isn't it? Yeah, this pill, remember, and I did just forget it, this pill is telling us about the doubled 4, which I know is in this column. So that aspect of it must be a 3. So that's another digit we get. And this digit is the row number in which the doubled 4 appears. So, in fact, we can now see we've definitely got the puzzle wrong. Oh, Bobbin's face, I've just thought of something. I've just thought of something very obvious. Oh dear, I bet this was how you were meant to do this. Obviously, that cannot be a doubler, because how would you reference it? It's in row 3, column 3, so you'd have to have a pill that had 3 in it. Now, does that apply? So I'm wondering now if we can just say I can make these all green. But let's just think about that one for a moment, because that is row 6, column 6. I'm just wondering whether what we could do is have a double digit on what, although the doublers are 4 and 2. So I don't see how you can do row 6, column 6. And if you can't do it with a doubler, that doesn't feel possible for you to have a 6, 6. I'm not totally sure about this, especially not once I start getting into the 2s. What about that digit? Well, I know that digit's not 1 anyway. I think it's impossible. It's definitely impossible for the odd digits, in the sense that that one I think I can make green, that one, and that one. And that's because, of course, these cells, I mean, this is row 7, column 7. So if I do want to index to that digit, I don't have the opportunity to use a doubler to do it, because I can't do, 3.5, 7. That won't work. I'd have to use 2 7s, and that's definitely going to break Sudoku. So I think what we should do is make those definitely green, and maybe that one's definitely green. So this is what led me on this track. I could see that this could never be row 3, column 3. So this is definitely green, which means I need to take the 4 out of it. I don't really know how to do this. Let's get rid of the red. That is not 4. In fact, it's not 2 either, because we know that the doubler in this column is 4. There is a 4 in not that cell, one of those cells. I'm just going to go ham on it and see if that tells us anything. No, that's not the double 4. It's in the row with the 2. Simon, get with the program. Right, so the doubler in column 3, which is a 4 and therefore is indexed by this little pinpointing thing, is either row 1. I was about to say it can't be row 7, but this 2 might be in the wrong place, so I've no idea. So that's 7, 8, 9. It's in one of those positions. It's not 8 actually. It's not 8. So if it's not, that can't be a 4, which means that can't be a doubler. So that's got to be green. These have got to be green because they can't be 4. I'm not sure whether I'm meant to get rid of my blue and purple now, you know. It's getting a bit difficult for me to follow what's going on. Is the blue or the purple of any value? I fear it might be still with this digit. I have to remember this is a special digit, which, well, it would be in the pill still. I think I'll persevere with this for a little bit, but I'm very prepared to disregard my purples and blues in a moment or two. Now, so unfortunately this has not worked, has it? I know that the 4 is in column 3, but I don't know where it lives. Although look, if it did live down here in either of those two, it would knock the 2 somewhere. Although I'm not sure where, because I'm just wondering if that can be the double 2. Does that? Because then that, oh, that could be, no, okay, here is a tiny point. That is not the double 2. Because if it was, I want to say this digit's now impossible. Because if this was doubled, I couldn't double the 1 here, so this would have to be a natural 2 to deal with the 4, and it couldn't be because there would be a 2 here. So the 2 in this column, does that mean, oh, I'm going mad here. I think this is, I find these puzzles so difficult, these indexing puzzles. I think that I want this to be a 2. Am I not? This is indexing the double 2, which I know is in column. Yeah, that's a 2. Simon. That's a 2 because this 2, wherever it lives, is in column 2. And this pill indexes the double 2. So this digit is what? Oh, yeah, that's going to be interesting because I can't now put the 2 in any of those positions. I know it's not there. I've just proved it's not there. So the 2 is, this is it. The 2 is in row 7, 8 or 9. This is absolutely mad. So the 2 is in row 7, 8 or 9 because we proved it can't be there, and it can't be there by Sudoku, and it can't be there by whatever we did to get that digit. So it's down here and it's doubled. Now it might not be there. Let's now get rid of this. We know one of those is doubled and one of those is a double 2. But that means that the 4, which is the double digit in column 3, is not down here. Which means that the 4 is doubled there, which is in row 1. So that's red, and I think that means this is a 1. And that means, oh, now that's interesting because that means that this square is a 2, and so that has resolved that. It's resolved whether that could be the doubler, so we still don't know about the doublering. We don't know about the doubler in column 1, but we do sort of know something. It's in one of 2 places, which is potentially interesting. Now, what does it mean to know these things? So we now know that the 1, the doubled 1 in the puzzle, which is indexed by this pill, is in column 8, because this counts as 8 and goes over there. So, I mean, obviously there's a 1 in that column. That's really... I can't do that pencil mark. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. No. Why haven't I put my 2 in there? Why can't 2 go in this one? I think it absolutely can. I think maybe that's where I had it for my example. Okay, so let's... Alright, well now I've got that digit, I feel a bit less uncomfortable about removing my colours. So let's remove the purple, and let's remove the blue. And let's... oh yeah, okay, so now I've made a right Horlicks of doing my greening. Look, I can green all sorts of things that I didn't know I could. All of those, all of these. Row 7, 8 or 9, yeah, okay. There's a doubler now in the 20 cage over here. And what's that being indexed by? Why can't I understand this? So there's a double digit in here, which is in row 3. So whichever one of these is a real 3, it's pushing a digit in there, I think. So how could that be a real 3? It couldn't be, because unless I'm missing a trick here, which I could well be, if that was a real 3, we're saying the 7, because this is indexing the 7, it's in the 7th row, would be going in row 3 and would be doubled, but we can't have a doubled 7 there by Sudoku. So that's not where the 3 goes, that's not where the 3 goes. That's square, what's that indexing? Row 3, column 8. So row 3, column 8 is that square, and it would be making that square a double 1, which won't work. Right, that square isn't, because I think if we put 3 there, this is indexing the 1, it would go there as a doubler, but that would be the doubler for the box, so the other 2 digits would both have to be 9. That won't work. So the 3 doesn't go there. So can the 3 go here? No. Ah, this is gorgeous. It's really clever. Right. If you put 3 there, well, we know that the doubler in this row is in column 7, 8 or 9. So this is a 7, 8 or a 9. But it's indexing 3, this pill. So I have to put a 3 there, and it's going to clash with this. So 3 is down here as well. But 3 is not there, because we said it can't be a 7. So 3... ah, this is so clever. It's so simple and so clever once you see it. Right, is the 3 there? No, because this pill indexes 9. If I put a 9 in there as a doubler, it's 18 already, and I'd have to make both the other cells 1. That won't work. So that is a 3 by the force of the sheer power of Sudoku, combined with J. Dyer's unique genius. And that digit is a 7 or a 9, I want to say, because it can't be 8, and I know one of those 2 digits is a doubled 8, which means that this has got 16's worth of digits in one of those two cells, so the other two digits are 1 and 3 to give us 20. So this is a 138. With that not being the 8, this is 138 by sort of by force. The 2 is now in one of those two cells, so that digit, if that was 8 now, that would be saying this digit was a 2, row 8, column 2. That digit is not a 2, so that digit is not an 8. That digit's not a doubler because it's not the 8. What does that mean? I don't know. Sudoku? 3? Oh, 3? Yeah, okay. 3 is perhaps in the corner. 1, 3, 7, 8. Right, well, we've got a 1, 3, 7, 8 quadruple in here. Oh, hang on. That can't be... Hang on. I'm now... Is that a 7 by Sudoku? Is the question I see before me. These digits, 1, 3, 7 and 8, are not the same as 2 and 4. So this quadruple here is 1, 3, 7 and 8. That square can't be 1 or 3 and doesn't seem to be able to be 8 because 8 would go down there. That's so clever. So this is 7. Row 7, column 2 is a 2, which is that digit, which is the doubler. So this is now not the doubler. It's not 2, it's not 3. Row 7, column 2 is a doubler. So this is telling us that the doubled 7 in the puzzle is in row 4. It's there somewhere, perhaps there. Could it be there? If it's there, that is, this is a 1. Row 2, column 1. Almost seems quite likely, doesn't it? But yeah, okay, but what we should do, this 138 triple lives up here somewhere. In fact, this is by force. That's by force of Sudoku. That's an 8. And that's going to give us another digit because this is saying row 8, column 4. No, row 8, column 8, because that's doubled, is a 1, which is there, which is rather nice actually. So that gets me that digit. We can get rid of the corner pencil marks up here. This is a double digit. So we can do some greenification, of course. Let's do the greenification. So now one of these two digits is a doubler. That's going to be impossible. That's lovely, actually. That's lovely. This one is not a doubler. This time for a different reason altogether, which is this: if we did put a doubler there, what would its value be? Well, it's not a doubled 1 because we've got one of them. It's not a doubled 2, so it would have to be a doubled 3 at least, which I can't see that we've got a doubled 3 anywhere. So it could be a doubled 3, but if it was a doubled 3, that would be a 1, and that doesn't work by Sudoku. So that is not a doubler. This is green. This is a doubler. Now that's a doubler. Well, I don't know what that means actually. I don't know. From a purely doubler perspective, the possible digits here are not 1, not 2, I think maybe 3, not 4, not 5, maybe 6, not 7 if I remember. Didn't we say 7 was doubled in here by this one? So not 7, not 8, 8's doubled there. So 3, 6 or 9 are the possible doublers for this one. So if it was a doubled 3, then this would be linked to it, wouldn't it? Which would be row 9, column 6. Ah, bobbins, that actually looks possible. In fact, what are these squares? 5, 6 and 9. 5, 6, 9. So these squares are 2 and 4 by Sudoku. So if this is a 3, 9, 6, yeah, that works. Okay. All right, what about if it's a 6? Then this one has to be 9, 6. If that was 9, 6, that would be 5, 7. One of these has to be a doubler. Do I know which one? I've no idea. I'm totally confused. This is column 1's doubler. Oh, okay. Well, there is a... So the column 1 doubler is, I want to say, a 7 or a 9 in one of those squares now, because the one in the column digit of the pills is in one of those two cells. This one would give a 7. This one would give a 9. So these two squares are 5, 6 and 9 as well. Oh dear. This is not straightforward, is it? If this is a 9... No. Right, that's not a 9. Because if it's a 9, I need that cell to be in row... that to be indicating row 9, because this pill tells us where the 9 goes. So, that's not a 9, and that's not a 9. So this is down to 3 or 6 now. The doubler in box... Oh yeah, hang on. There's some X-wingy doublers stuff going on here. There's a doubler in one of those two squares. Now you can see we've not put the doubler in this row. It's fairly clear, isn't it? It wasn't very clever what I did then. We can do loads of greens there. If that's a doubler, we know it's a double 7 because it's the 7 that's being doubled in row 4. 14. Right, that's not the doubler for a beautiful reason. If this is a doubler, I think, I'm going to check this, but I thought I decided that row 4's doubler was a 7. Yeah, because that's what this is. This 2 is doubled, so it's indexing something in row 7. Some cell in row 7. In fact, now we know by the force of redness that this cell is a 1 or a 5, which actually isn't resolved. But I don't think it can be a 5, because if this is a 7 doubled, it's worth 14, which means those three squares have to add up to 6, which means they have to be a 1, 2, 3 triple, which makes this simultaneously 1 and 3 by Sudoku, which doesn't work. So this square is not green. This square is red. This square is not green. Is not red. That square's red. That square's red. That square's the 7 because we know that's what this one's indexing. So this is a 1. That's not a 1. 7. Okay. We're going to get another of these 5, 6, 9 triples in this row. The same thing we've got here. Is that really true? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Yeah, it seems to be. So what's this then? I should know, shouldn't I? I should just be able to intuit this. This is dealing with 8 over there. So everything else, that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 4, that's the 5. So it's just 3, 6, 9 and the 8. Yeah. Okay, so this is 3, 6 or 9. It's the same as this one. So does this one have a problem with being 6 again? Yeah, it's the same sort of idea. If that was 6, you have to put 6 in the row to index it, and you can't do both of those things. So that's not 6, that's not 6. This is 3, 9. This is 3, 6. But so this digit, which is where the 9 is doubled, is either indexing this square, so this would be a 5, or it's indexing a 7 or a 9 from a I don't believe it. Everything's possible again. I've got a 5, 6, 7, 9 quadruple in column 3. So there's something else. We've got to find something else here. Can't put 1 in the 16 cage. Does it need to have 2 in it then? 3, 4, 5 and 6 is too many. It does, right, okay, I could have got a 2 in here by Sudoku. It can't have 1 in it by Sudoku. If it didn't have 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 add up to 18. So it does have 2, and by Sudoku that 2 goes there. But I think, well, does that do anything? The answer might be blowing in the wind here. I'm not sure. Oh dear, dear, dear. Come on, Simon. Oh, hang on. If that's 5, 6, 9, by Sudoku, that's a... oh, it's Sudoku. Of course it's Sudoku. What else would it be? That's a 3. So that can't repeat 3. That's got to be 6. Now we're away again, because I should be able to get the coordinates and some of these thingies. There's a 3 in one of those cells, but that's not the doubler. The doubler... yes, the doubler over here is the digit that's not been doubled yet, and that's only 9. Right, so that's a 3-9 pair. Not 3-6, 3-9. Ah! 3-9. And now this 3... is that coordinate. So this is this is lovely. That's a 6, that's a 5. Now that 6 is this coordinate, so that's a 9, that's a 6, which tells us that this is 5 by Sudoku. So that's not 5. This... oh, bother. It's not telling us anything. 7s and 9s, which is one of those 2 squares. So it is, well, the only comfort I take from this is that it is sort of working, in the sense that, oh, I've just noticed there's a 1-2 pair down here. How can that be a 1? It can't be, because that would be a 6. Right, so that's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 5. These squares here are 4, 6 and 8, I want to say, by Sudoku. So that digit's a 5. Come on. 9 is in the 20 cage, but it's just it's only 3 other digits, not 4. Otherwise, that would have looked a bit scary. 2 goes here by Sudoku. 2 and 4 go into the grid. That's not 6 by Sudoku. 8. No, 8's in one of those 2 squares. I don't think that's going to be terribly epic in terms of what's going on. 1 in this box is a little bit epic. It's got only 2 places. So 1 in this box is in one of 2 places. Now what? Come on, Simon. You could do... there's a 7-2-5 triple look in those squares by Sudoku. So let's put that in. That must be useful. Apparently not. These squares have got to be 4, 6 and 9. That's weird. It's not... why is this not resolving itself? These have got to be 1, 3 and 8. That's not able to be 3. Okay. Can we do... I don't know, I'm stuck. 2's in one of these cells, coming up for an hour. I'm actually amazed it's only been an hour, this puzzle. That has flown past. And I have been properly baffled at some instances in the last 60 minutes. Okay, it must be something to do with... It must be something to do with, he says, trying to work out what it might be. 3 is a bit restricted in this box. It's in one of those 2 squares. Do we know, does that have to have a 3 in it as well as a 2? I didn't think about that. That's possibly true. It is true, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. This triple here adds up to 14. We know it hasn't got 1 in it and it hasn't got 2 in it. So if it didn't have 3 in it, it would be 4, 5, 6 as a minimum, and 4, 5, 6 add up to 15, which is 1 higher. There is a knowledge bomb for you. So if there is a 3 in there, there is not a 3 in here, and that means that's a 3, which means that's a 3. Here we go. 3, 1. So now this has become a 1, 8 pair. These squares have become a 6, 9 pair, which we can do. You can use our old friend Sudoku to help me there, which I'm very welcoming about. We could... Now what do we do? We could... Oh, I don't know. Do we know? I don't know. Sorry, I'm sure many of you are shouting at me now. 6 is quite restricted in the central box. Could it be... I mean, I genuinely have no idea where it is I'm meant to look here. Have I used all my clues up? I think I must have done. Row 8, column 8 is a 1. Row 7, column 2 is a 2. Row 6, column 5 is a 3. Row 1, column 3 is a 4. Row 2, column 4 is a 5. Row 9, column 6 is a 6. Row 4, column 1 is a 7. Row 3, there's an 8 in one of those squares. Well, that's correct, isn't it? But we don't know which one. And then row... yeah, so I have used those clues. So it's not that. It's got to be something... It's got to be something Sudoku-y, I think. 5 is in one of those cells by Sudoku. What do those 2 squares add up to? They add up to 11. And they're not 2, 9. They're not 3, 8. So this... Oh, 5, 6 would work. Or 4, 7 perhaps. 4, 7 would also be very useful. Ah, I can do that. Right. I'm going to look at this box. Now if this was 4, 7, 7 would go here in this box. But then 7 would go here in the 20 cage. And that doesn't work, because the 20 cage has a 9 in it already. So we'd have 9 and 7 in it as 2 of its digits. The other 2 digits would have to add up to 4 and be 1 and 3, and they can't be. There's a 3 in the box. So this is crucial. So this is 5, 6 now, which means that's not 5. It means we've definitely got a 5. It means that's not 6. Actually, is this doing anything? Oh, it's giving me a 6 here by Sudoku. And a 4, 8 pair. Bobbins. Oh, goodness me. Surely that's going to do something. That's really mean. Oh, no. Is that really true? Getting a 5, 6 pair here does absolutely nothing. That cannot be right, can it? How do we... No, I thought maybe I could do something with the 7 down here, but I can't. How do we resolve this? Is it Sudoku somehow in the middle boxes? One, 2, 3, 4. Oh, for goodness sake, it is. I don't believe it. Right, look at this square. What digit is that? Oh. That's just very mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it is 6. It can be 6. It can't be 7. It can't be 8. And it can't be 9. That is a naked single. As naked as the day it was born. Vicious. Absolutely. It doesn't actually do very much, maybe. What are those squares then? Maybe this is where I should have looked in the first place. These are, I want to say 1, 5 and 7. So, we know that's not a 7. I just looked at this. Yeah, right, look. Let's look at this cell here. This cell's not 5. It's not 7 because that would put the 9 and the 7 in there. So it can only be a 1. So that's a 1. That's an 8. I've now got 10 in here in 2 cells. Yes, okay, and the other 2 cells in the 20 cage have to add up to 10, and they're not 1, 9, they're not 4, 6, they're not 3, 7, so they're 2 and 8. So the 2 in the box goes here. This is it. So this is 2, this is 9, this is 8, all just Sudoku. 5 in the box goes here. Here we go. Come on. Come on. This is a 7 by Sudoku, so that's a 7. This is a 4. These squares have got to be 8 and 9, I think, which should tell me that that square is a 4. Let's check that. That does look Sudoku-y and correct. Now all we've got to do, we should be able to get that digit now. That is a 7. Okay, so that's not a 7. These digits are 4, 5 and 6. These digits are something. 1, 2 and 8. That's not 1. That's not 2. There's a 1, 8 pair in this column. That's not 2. Come on. Oh, it's going to be here, isn't it? So let's have a look at row 7. 4, 8 and 9 into this square. Okay, it's not there. Alright, let's try. This is 7, 8 or 9 by Sudoku. No. Oh, that digit. There we go. That's going to be the 9. Oh, that's just a lonely old nonsense. That doesn't do anything. Is it this? If we've got... What's this? So this is these 2 digits. Oh, good grief. That is just showing off. That's just showing off, Jay. That is just showing off. You can't do that at the end of that puzzle. You cannot do that. I've got tears in my eyes. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Right. Is that a 9? No is the answer. Because what's this doing if it's a 9? It's indexing a 9 into there. And now you've got a sort of empty rectangle effect on box 9. You can't put 9s there. You can't put 9s there. None of those digits are 9s. And 9s are broken in the puzzle. How can you do that at the end of this puzzle? So that's 9. That's 7. Which means that's 9. That's 3. That became the 8. That became the 1 by Sudoku. So we can greenify these. Now, okay, that does seem to be doing stuff, doesn't it? So 8, 2, 1. 8 gets knocked into one of those squares, so this becomes 4, that becomes 8, 8, 9, that's 4 by Sudoku. Let's tidy up some pencil marks in the hope that that's going to help me. This is a 7 by Sudoku, so that's a 7 by Sudoku. And the bottom of the grid is 3, 8 and 9. And that puts 9 in the corner. Oh, I haven't checked for 3s in the corner. I'm not going to get one today. That's 8. That's 3. That's 6. Look, that's 5. Come on. This is 4, 6. Please resolve. Please resolve. That's 9. So that's 4. That's 4. That's 6. That's 6. That's 5. That's 2, that's 5, and that is a work of staggering genius. Staggering genius. I am so thrilled to have solved that. I cannot tell you We've had many requests for this, and I totally understand why. It's absolutely baffling what's going on at the start. It is completely and utterly... It's amazing. I mean, what an idea to have and to think that might exist. I don't know how a human being does this and thinks of this. Jay, you are just an absolute phenomenon. A phenomenon. That's one of the best puzzles I've ever seen, frankly, because it's so original and it's so weird the way that these pills and their indexing works, and the shifting of this one to the left. It's just gorgeous, and that you do get double filtration. You get this sort of effect where you think about this way into that one, and then that one, and how it affects the row numbers, and you get this sort of double, double filtration. And you find that there has to be a sort of Kropke black dot relationship between all the meaningful digits. But then the way it resolved after that was just beautiful. The selections of where these doublers had to be, the selections of the cage totals to force the logic, all culminating in a ludicrous piece of skill, constructing skill, to pinch the nines or to stop the nines going into those two positions. It's just breathtaking. That is just a work of sublime genius. I loved it. I'm relieved I solved it. And I hope we'll see some of you later for the Daisy stream and Mark's video. Okay, let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.